Hello, my name is Xiang. I'm currently a game development student in UW Malaysia, and today I'll be talking about my final year project, which is a game called Cyberdive, and how I work on the game's level, also known as drumroll, how to chart. Once again, yep, this is me. My name is Xiang, and I am the lead designer for Cyberdive, or previously known as Project Cyber. So, what is Cyberdive? Cyberdive is a 3D vertical scrolling rhythm game that has 6 lanes, which includes tap, hold, and catch, so players can tap, hold, and catch to the beat. We also added a special note called critical note, which is a red note that covers the entire lane and players requires spacebar to press on the note, which is just now the red bar that you see. Yep. Our main inspiration actually comes from a bunch of Japanese arcade rhythm games, such as Samvoltex and Toho Danmaku Kagura Fantasia Lost. This is because we also want to showcase how the Japanese arcade rhythm game or PC rhythm games looks like in here. And we also want to make something like this because we really like Japanese rhythm game in general. So we use Unity to develop this game, and we use this plugin called Choreographer, which is a Unity plugin that simplifies the synchronization process for both music and the MIDI. So essentially you can put in a MIDI files inside this plugin alongside with the audio file. So it makes process much more easier and you don't really need to do extra coding with the choreographer. So I'm gonna show you guys how it looks like. So this is your choreography editor. You see the red bar over here? That is your MIDI file, and this is your audio file. So what we did is essentially we have one lane, we have 6 lanes, so we separate all of them into 6 different channels. So this is lane number 1, and we have another channels as well. So each of that channel will have different MIDI folder, so it will spawn in various types of note depending on which lane it's coming from. So let's get to the main point, charting. So in rhythm games, there are many types of note patterns that a designer can consider depending on the rhythm of the song. For example, we can say a build up. The designer can use staircase, row, or even through to chart that specific build up. Because build up essentially in a song goes da 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 da. So how would we chart it? You can either da 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 da. That's how we do it. Or if the song have a bunch of rave steps, which is this sound, you can put in a note type called a chord, which shown in right here. This is because it essentially recreate a chord sound. So in the end, it really depends on your song. If one of the melody is very short, you can go with a single note. If the song has like a really long sustain, a long note. If the song has some choppy or interesting sound effects, you can use a catch note. Usually, in terms of charting, you want to go from simple first, then essentially build up into a higher difficulty. Well, depending on what difficulty you're planning on working. So if you're planning to chart a hard difficulty, you need to ensure that it is fun and challenging at the same time. And make sure to playtest your chart so you can make sure it is smooth and it's ready to go. So what are the differences between the difficulty? Well, I have an example right here from a game, Archaea, which have 3 different difficulties: easy, normal, and hard, which they call it past, present, and future. So as for easy, you can see that it has much lesser notes and very simple rhythm. As for present or normal, they slightly increase the difficulty a bit. However, it is still readable to many players. Then we move to the hard, which requires many practices for the players to play the songs. As you can see right there, it is a very complex pattern. So this is how charting in different difficulty works. Essentially, start from very little note for easy, then from normal, you try to add something more to give it progression. Then in hard, you make it more harder. Basically, well, you go all out or you make it feels really, really challenging. However, like I said before, playtest your chart before publishing it. Another thing you can do is referencing from other games. So how do you reference, or at least how do I reference, is that I'll look up on other rhythm games chart with the same music genre. So let's say if I'm charting let's say I'm charting a garage music, I will I will go to other rhythm games that has garage music and see how would they chart with the note patterns. Then I would also try to take down some notes on why would they want to put in that note patterns in. And not to mention, this is very super important, you have to play those games so you make sure, so you know how it feels when that pattern comes out. So then it makes much more sense. You'll be like, oh, so you can actually do something like that. Then you can essentially take that note and then write it down into your charts as a references. Now, how do I chart? I started using this thing called a MIDI editor. Well, not this software. I'll show you my software later. So what is a MIDI editor? MIDI editor is basically a piano roll editor, which you can create notes and you can extend or shorten it. Once you create a bunch of notes, you can export it as a MIDI file, where you can put that MIDI file into the choreography editor. The software I use is called Ableton, which is a digital audio workstation, also known as DAW. This is because it has a MIDI editor and you can also put in audio files. So I can listen to the music that I'm charting on and make sure it is in sync with the MIDI editor. Now, I'm going to show you guys how I chart with my project file showcase. So here's my project file. As you can see, this is the audio file that I'm using it to chart, and this is the MIDI file. So in MIDI file, I press a lot of notes inside and essentially create a sense of pattern, as you can see in here. Let's play just a tiny bit, shall we? After I'm done with the main idea of the chart, what I will do usually is that I will try to recreate this chart into a free chart tools for rhythm games. Notable mention is Osu, because Osu have a feature where you can chart using their own game. So I will use that, playtest it. If it's good, I'll continue by separate them into a different folder for each lane. Then after that, I can right click on it, export the MIDI clip, export them, and then send it into our choreography editor. So that's pretty much how I chart. You may be wondering, why are we separating tap, hold, and catch? Well, this is because if we mix all of the same lane note together, essentially Unity will detect it as, oh, this is tap. Oh, this is tap but longer. No, it doesn't work like that. So we want to make sure that it has different types of notes. and how it behave will be different. So a tap, one tap. A hold, just hold. A catch, both tap and hold works. And well, as well as the critical on spacebar. So that is how I do my charts in rhythm game. I hope you guys learned something from it and also play rhythm games. Thank you for listening. Oh, and before I leave, here are the list of rhythm games that I would recommend. That is pretty much it. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.